the Teslas. I'm a mess, but it's all a finesse. Boy, you stop it quiet. If it's new, I done got it. See my jewels, shining, shining. White diamonds, Miley Cyrus. Private jet, private pilot. Look at me, stylish, stylish. Masterpiece, body, young. Hey, I don't know no better. I'm on this every day. You cannot run with me, boy. I'm a heavyweight. Baby, I know what's coming. I could barely wait. And when it was on, they wanted me gone, boy. I'm here to stay. Stop calling me low, bro. I got mileage on me. Walk there with
Tonight, from Seattle, Washington, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks taking on Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, the city of Seattle known for coffee, grunge music, and, of course, rain. And we're definitely going to get a heavy dose of the last of those three here tonight as you look inside a wet and wild Lumen Field.
Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. First is Garoppolo. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by DJ Reed. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Here come the Seahawks. Time for that offense and quarterback Russell Wilson to go to work.
And what he's thinking about right now is first down, let's find a way to make a big play. Because when you get a sudden change situation, that defense has to rush onto the field unexpectedly. You might catch them having a defensive breakdown or not quite prepared.
And it was really sudden after the first play picked off. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it. 54's mark. 54's mark. Hey, 0.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson.
And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
The numbers on the ground for Carson last week. 13 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
On 2nd down, it's Carson. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on second.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now it's Wilson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away.
And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. And you know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt.
They'll run for the first time with Raheem Mostert.
Showed some strong running, but quickly corralled just beyond the 10-yard line. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
On second down, Mostert.
And he'll get this one up to about his 14. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From the gun on 3rd, Garoppolo. And this is going to be incomplete.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you're coming off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
If they open things up, let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. And he whips that one incomplete there.
Will Dissly, the intended receiver.
But it'll be second down.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
57. Mike, 57. Oh, you got D?
To throw again, Wilson. That's caught by his tight end, Gerald Everett. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch. Pick up really nice yardage.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, these two rivals played 2 of the better games in the NFL a season ago. You remember Week 17, it was Dre Greenlaw stopping Jacob Hollister at the 1 to preserve a 26-21 49er win. And that wound up both winning them the NFC West and earning them the #1 seed.
His throw caught right around the 6. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A good pickup there at 22.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And that'll get him halfway there as he takes it from the 6 to the 3-yard line.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
3-yard line.
On 2nd and goal, Wilson, end zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Dixon to kick off for Seattle.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. Taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. San Francisco set to go on offense once more.
This is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Big Derek Brown making the stop.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now. Hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 27 yards there, first down.
The California offense versus his own defense. Find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. Deebo Samuel was the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down.
Moves to 2nd and 10.
Garoppolo going to give to Mostert. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
It's 3rd down.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Wishnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. They run the counter. Carson. And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. That time, a little misdirection really seemed to fool the defense.
And think of it this way. From the time you're in high school, you're taught to watch film and pick up tendencies. Sometimes they can use those against you, though, when they break their own tendencies and hit you back the opposite direction, huh?
6-0 our score after one.
The score, Seahawks 6, 49ers 0.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
From the 24, Wilson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
And, partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
I like what they did there because many of the deep throws we see in the course of a game come to the outside, the perimeter of the field. In this case, they used the slot receiver to run deep downfield and tried to connect that way. Unsuccessful in that attempt, but I like what they were doing.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Seahawks have picked it up.
Don't do us like that.
So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Wilson after the play fake to Carson. Escaping the pressure right. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play, and that's going to lead them to 4th down. The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. They'll try and run for it. And this is going to be nowhere close. Needed some inches and ended up losing yardage. Pete Carroll rolled the dice, but it didn't work out. And the 49ers are going to get the football back. So the defensive front holding strong there on 4th and inches.
And how about the battle of big people up front? That turned into a leverage game, didn't it? Defensive linemen, they won it. Lower than the offensive guys, pushed them back, knifed through, and made a great play.
And it worked his way across the 30 to the 32. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Here's Mostert. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
The tackle made by K.J. Wright.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Mostert. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
From the gun, it's Garoppolo.
He'll fire this deep for Ayuk.
And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
This offense has definitely been slow getting out of the gate. It's almost like they missed their wake-up call for this one. No points on their first 2 possessions, and now it's looking like none on this one either.
Fielded just inside the 20. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively.
And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, if you're a field goal kicker, you've got to make sure you nurse him through it and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit in the same spot again.
We'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
Well, when you've got a guy like Marquise Goodwin, a former Olympian, mind you, you've got to devise ways to get the football in his hands, and mission accomplished there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards and just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time.
The evidence was right there.
And the numbers here don't lie. According to the next-gen stats, he topped out at an even 22 miles an hour.
Pete Carroll in that familiar hands-on-knees pose. His guys will go for 2 here. Play action. It's Wilson. That is caught. He's got it. And the lead will move to 14-0. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
Set to take over again here on offense, Jimmy G and the 49ers. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
Garoppolo on first down.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And yet again, it's Garoppolo. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here to just under a minute to play in half number 1. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Well, that last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. This is Mostert. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Oh, good move. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. They must have seen something leading up to this one that said, hey, we're going to be able to go deep because they've gone deep with a lot of success.
And pick your phrase, pick your code words, your buzzwords, whatever, vertical stretch, deep passes, go routes, right? What's that route you love? What's that route you love?
4 verts.
4 verts. All of it working because they're able to find ways to get deep and for him to show off that big, big arm.
We see some of that big arm right here. He has been great. Now Wilson on first down. Flushed out right. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. They go play action now. Wilson. Flush to his right. He's going to take off with it. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down and a 21-yard gain.
Now, those are the ones that hurt defensively. You do everything right. Excellent pressure, good coverage downfield, and then he slips out the back door and turns it into a nice gain.
From midfield now, here's Wilson. That's complete to the tight end, Everett. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. Deep ball for Goodwin. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Well, the white flag coming out as they line up to kneel on it. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we are at halftime. We now proceed to the start of the 2nd half.
14, 49ers.
Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the 2nd half. And able to get this out to the 25.
1st and 10. Come on with it, man. 25-yard line.
Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, well, get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again. Wilson. They'll find Everett there, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. It's a gain of 34.
They came out with an aggressive mindset to start the third quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them take more of these type of deep shots as this game moves along. They connected there. They expect to connect on more before this one's over.
He's got the first down here inside the 30. You go like this! All the way in, touchdown Seattle. Marquise Goodwin. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead.
For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
Now Myers for the extra point. And he atones for his miss the first time around as this one is up and good to extend their lead. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Taken about 7 yards deep and not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
At the 28-yard line.
A play fake from Mostert. Now Garoppolo.
Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at the 45.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And his throw is incomplete.
Brandon Ayuk, the one he was looking for.
And that'll bring up 2nd down.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 41-yard line. Give them 14 on that one and a first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert.
And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
How about his performance last week? Over 200 yards. I think his decisiveness, one cut, and he goes. That's what's really made him pile up the yardage.
And the yardage he piled up last week, easily honored with NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I would have voted for him.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack.
And this came from the interior of the defensive line, and these guys, they're normally anchors of that spot, and they don't often get clear shots at the quarterback. But in this case, he got past the center and the guard in no time and got there to make the play.
Yeah, the next-gen stat's going to illustrate just how quickly a quarterback has to process everything, as he was on the ground in under 3 seconds, 2.9 to be precise.
Another try after the first down sack. Garoppolo over the middle, complete. It's James. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Just what Seattle was hoping for. The coverage holds, and now fourth down.
Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
21. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. There's Wilson to throw. Deep ball for Goodwin. And this is taken in. It's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and
under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson escaping the pressure right. Now he'll pull it down. A breakdown defensively there as the scramble is going to set him up with a much more manageable 3rd down. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on 1st down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off, not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on 3rd down, makes it manageable now.
And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4.
Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Another connection between the two. This one good for 12 and a 1st down. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
This throw caught right around the 6. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
And what a weapon he is at the tight end spot, because when they throw him the football downfield, they count on him getting additional yardage almost every time. And that's exactly what he did there. Caught that, ran with it, all the way to the end zone.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And they open the lead up now to 25.
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
And San Francisco gets set to go here.
We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter.
Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty is a result of that hit there.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now a pass hauled in downfield. And he is down deep into Seattle territory.
34 yards to gain that time, another first down.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
1st and goal, San Francisco.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense.
Garoppolo looks to throw once more. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to George Kittle, his tight end. But it'll be 2nd and goal.
They run out of the shotgun with Mostert.
They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. A nice run there, 8 yards, moves him much closer to the goal line now for 3rd down.
He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have...
That's caught by Deebo Samuel. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Deebo Samuel, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the 49ers make some inroads here on that deficit. And he puts it through. That time a 6-play drive. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks.
1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
They're certainly not letting up on the pressure in this one, and oftentimes you hear this expression, all gas, no break from defenses. But in this case, it's the offense still throwing the football up big in the fourth quarter.
Working the middle here, that's complete to Everett, the tight end. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the fourth quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think you continue to do so. They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wilson. He'll find Metcalf. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And a penalty flag down as he gets only about a yard. And let's listen in on the call. They get the tackle, Marcus Gilbert. 2nd-round pick back in 2011 out of Florida. An extra DB for the 49ers now on 3rd. From the gun, it's Wilson. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the pass incomplete in the end zone, but contact and pass interference.
And now where does the ball get placed?
Yeah, at the 1 yard line.
1 yard line. They gave up excellent real estate on that one. That's going to work really, really well for the guys who threw it.
Into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. Now Kaepernick, his first toss off the bench. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Will Disley, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. With the Seahawks, they're able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury. And it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. And he finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Myers connects on the PAT, and they open the lead up now to 25. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Raheem Mostert and the Niner offense getting the football back.
And after a sluggish start, he's really bounced back. The numbers bear that out.
And you're a baseball guy, partner. How many at-bats over the course of a baseball season?
Oh, boy, 4 in a game.
Yeah, about 4 in a game.
4 times 162.
350 or so, right? Sometimes it takes a while for a guy to get going. That's my point. It's not the first few carries. You don't worry about that. As they go along, get that guy lathered up, get those blocking assignments down. Those 2-yard gains turn into bigger gains as the game moves along. Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Here's a 4-receiver look now. 3 of those guys out to the right side on 2nd and 8. Garoppolo looks to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's James. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards.
49er first down.
On first down, Garoppolo. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. K.J. Wright able to record his 5th sack of the season. Tell you what, he did not have much time there to scan the field before he was ducking and covering.
Did it appear to you, as it did to me, that the defensive front won their play really quickly? Meaning the guys in front of them had almost no chance to block him. They were on him in a hurry.
And it's incomplete. And now we're down to 10 seconds. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Garoppolo. He's going to let it fly. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. So the victory here for Seattle, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for the Seahawks, they continue to keep pace for that first-round bye as they move to 11-1. And they'll have another home date next.
Kick it and go. Kick it and go.